We're pleased to announce that this episode of the 1878 FM podcast is sponsored by Green King Sport, where football is more than a game. Green King Sport venues are showing every single televised Everton fixture over the 23-24 season. And with more than 900 sports pubs across the UK, it doesn't matter where you're based, you can catch every single minute of the action. If you download the Green King Sports app, you won't just get 10% off all drinks anytime there's a match on TV, but this month there's also thousands of pints of free Guinness to be won and the chance to win one of 6 holidays. Hello, welcome to the 1878 FM podcast, episode 28 of Series 2, Season 2.
Season 2, yeah.
It is, makes it sound good, makes it sound like Netflix or something. I guess if it was, it would be, you know, the way they have, like, you look at Netflix when they're recommending stuff and it's got like gritty or whatever. This would just have depressing, sorrowful, and occasional laughs.
What's sorrowful? Wasn't that bread with fruit in it? Oh no, that was sorrel. That was sorrel. Sorry, sorrel.
No, sorry. Sorrel, I went with you as well, Dave. See how quickly I jumped into your camp then?
What is sorrel? Is that a?
I don't know.
Sorrel.
What's sorrel?
Sounds like a left back that plays for Grimsby or something.
Let's have a look. Hang on, because I
Sounds
think
like a
sorrel is a thing. This is here we go. Right. Sorrel is a hardy perennial herb of the buckwheat family.
Okay.
These are widely distributed in temperate regions and cultivated for their edible leaves. Sorrel leaves are typically pungent and sour and derive their flavour from oxalic acid.
There you go. I'm not being funny, but if nothing says the north-south divide, then bread with fruit in it and a lovely herb that Dave seems to.
Dave knows. Would that become sourdough? If you made bread with that becomes sourdough.
Don't know. Maybe. I mean, I've
because it said that. Come on, it was an easy. The thing was sour. The leaves were sour. For God's sake.
I picture Dave cycling or one of his many activities, just stopping on a canal. Nice pub nearby.
Yeah.
Probably a guy on a canal doing the old, what they call the punters.
Punting on the camp.
And Dave just goes into his pocket and pulls out one of these leaves.
A sorrel leaf.
Yeah, takes a little bit of it, like nibbles on it, like, you know, and then that just refreshes him and back on the
my
path.
Merry way.
Yeah.
I think he started
Spotting
the day.
Roy Hodgson and many other celebrities.
I bet he started the day with some quinoa as well, because that's what happens down there, down in the south. Fair play to you. Fair play to you. Fair play to you. Down at
We eat whatever has been left over from people doing the paving outside and tarmacking. Or not Baz, obviously, because he lives in very much
no tarmac in the gated community. No tarmac.
Well, there's tarmac, but
not allowed.
It's got rods in it.
It's block paving.
That produces heat.
Block paving.
Sorry.
Which parquet floors.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate for the kids in the winter because it means there's no snow. It instantly melts
the snow.
But I'm sure there's a snow making machine.
We have Christmas Eve. The snow making machine comes up just to make the Christmas for the kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just have it piped out so when the kids look out, it's just dropping down in front of the window, and obviously the on-site Santa Claus.
Yeah, of course.
All part of it. So quinoa and sorrel, I didn't expect those two things to be featuring on today's podcast. But well done, Dave. Great start to the show. Strong start. Very strong start. Educational as well for people who didn't know sorrel, as me and Ped didn't. Yeah. We now know that it is some kind of buckwheat hair.
It can only be bought as far as HS2 goes.
There you go. Well, there you go. Yeah, the minute HS2 gets cut off, sorrel ends.
There you go.
It's a tale of sorrel.
It is. To think they destroyed John Bishop's garden for that train line, and it never happened.
It would have been good if that would have carried on, if it had gone towards Orrell Park, and he could have got sorrel from Orrell Park. But HS2.
I don't think it was ever going.
No,
to Orrell
but
Park.
It might have came up on the HS2.
On the rails, as they say.
On the inside. Very much like Arsenal doing, but that's
no idea what's going on. But
Neither have I. But we have had a video from our, used to be part of our quadruple in the team.
What I'd say is our George Michael to our Andrew Ridgely.
Is he George Michael?
Well, to our Andrew Ridgely.
To our Andrew Ridgely.
The sky is the limit for him.
You say that. He's let his hair go. But let's hear a video from Mr. Andrew Bush.
Fellas, it's Bush. How you doing? Hope you're doing okay. Miss you all. I trust you are well. Just weird old game against Brighton. Felt like we didn't try and play football. Slightly embarrassed about the way we're playing, to be honest with you, a little bit. But, to be leading the game and then end up with a draw and injury time was a bit of a gutter, to be honest with you. What do I think? Calvert-Lewin doesn't look right. He looks like someone's dad who has reluctantly filled in the numbers at a birthday 7-a-side at a local leisure centre. Just kind of lots of pulling things. I need to get off. That kind of thing. It's taking ages to get up. And then I'm quite worried that Beto might actually be shite. I mean, I love him running around and everything. I love a bit of running around in terms of the Blues. But I don't think I've ever seen anyone with quite the same lack of technique as him. And he had a couple of great opportunities to put that to bed at 2-0, do you know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's all in the balance, isn't it? It's all kind of up in the air. And when are the Premier League going to get their fucking act together and tell us what's going on? I'm up for a riot. You guys fancy getting some pitchforks and fire and descending on London somehow? Let's sort it out. A rebellion.
There you go. Mr. Bush, hair getting a little bit longer. He's got the cans. He's on his way into the radio station to do all of his good stuff with his mate Richie, him and Big Rich, buying things off.
He made his choice.
He made his choice. I'm fair play to him. He'll be DJing in Ibiza, surrounded by celebrities in the summer.
On a Disney cruise
while we're here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he did that, didn't he?
He did
Disney
it.
cruise.
He's done the Disney cruise. He's done the DJing in Ibiza for the weekend. All good.
Yeah.
God, what went wrong, Andrew Bush? How did you make that choice between us and there? But obviously, he's reacting to Brighton 1, Everton 1 at the weekend. Wasn't massively complimentary about our two centre forwards in that one, but fair play to him. Fair play to him. Yeah. But Dave, I mean, overall, a good point.
I was thinking about this. I mean,
Red Run turned up there. Did I hear that there? Bloody hell!
What?
What did you just park your horse on the side there? Give it some sorrel. Go ahead, mate.
So I was thinking about this because, I mean, I was gutted when they equalised and when we didn't come away with 3 points because I genuinely thought that we were. So it felt like, I don't know, I just felt very flat afterwards. But I suppose the other way of looking at it is that, if somebody had offered us a point away at Brighton before kickoff, I think that we'd have gladly taken it. So that's the way that we perhaps should look at it. But it's not the way that I think any of us felt at 90 minutes, however many minutes.
Well, 99 minutes.
99 minutes, sorry, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right, Dave. If someone would have said, at 3 o'clock, take a point now. I think I'd have gone, go ahead, just keep adding to it.
Absolutely.
But we said all week I did, for some reason, I felt happier going into the Brighton game than I did going into the Crystal Palace game, which is mad, because we are just so poor at home. But away, I think we know exactly what we're doing. That being said, as Andy Bush just said, we are hard to watch because
really hard to watch.
I don't mind us giving the ball up. Doesn't that I've accepted that, and we've done quite well away from home. But I do mind when we just panic things and kick. These players who you've seen play so much better. Things like Dwight McNeil when we're breaking in the first half and he had 3 runners and he's just hit it first time because he doesn't want it. It's where's the confidence there? Ben Godfrey, we've got a throw in 30 yards inside the Brighton half and he throws it back to us, Jordan Pickford. It's like, why are you throwing the ball back to start again when we're on the offence? It's that kind of thing. But that being said, we were very close to picking up what would have been a huge victory for us. And I guess the frustration is we didn't heed the warning, Ped, that Lewis Dunk was winning most things when balls come into our box. And for some reason, we left them alone at the most crucial time.
Yeah, it was a poor goal to concede, very un-Everton for what we've been doing, and for him to be marked by Ben Godfrey and who's the other one around him? I can't remember, but he got in between them, 2 of them, didn't he? And we just switched off. Beto was doing his best whatever impression that was.
Couldn't foul him though, could he? Because he'd been booked. That was the problem.
I don't know. I just think sometimes you've got to do what you've got to do.
Should have made.
I don't understand why you don't have to foul him. You just have to stop him crossing the ball.
What he should have done better was just make sure he crossed it with his left foot. Gross. Because the angle was different.
That was poor.
No, it was. He should have.
But the whole team was poor the minute they got Billy Gilmore sent off. And
Branthwaite's come out and said that.
I put that down to the manager. I'm sorry for you dice lovers out there, but I put it down to the manager because the Ashley Young sub was pathetic, absolutely pathetic. Taking a player off that picks up the ball and charges forward in the final moments of the game. We've seen him do that loads of times. And replacing him with Ashley Young is a joke. Also, Decore is good offset pieces defensively. There's another body in there. And I just thought that was so negative from the manager once again. And people can listen. You can applaud the manager for what he's done and what he's created. But you also have to look at it and go, well, why can't we just take that step more and say, why can't we see out a game where we're against 10 men? Don't get me wrong, we've done this before. We've done this at West Ham, we've done this at Forest where we've done it. Even at Burnley in the second half, the way we played was very defensive. We just said, we're not going to bother this half. We're just going to shut down. But for the life of me, I couldn't understand why we did that against the team, against 10 men. You pick your moments, and you just mentioned there about just giving the ball away. That to me was just so irresponsible in those moments. Pick your moments and just get the ball forward and get it into the corners and just take the game as far away from our goal as you can and say to them, right, if you're going to break us down, you have to start all the way from your goal. And if that means smashing it into the corners, you smash it into the corners. But giving the ball away in your own half, that's what it leads to. It leads to pressure. And when you've got 10 men, you feel like, right, we can do something here. We're in the ascendancy, and we got it massively wrong. And I squarely put that on the manager. People might, he's the man who sets the tone. And as Branthwaite said, why did we do that? And subs like that do create that atmosphere for me, anyway.
The whole thing is game management, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's what your decision making is in terms of the personnel, but as you say as well, in terms of what they do with it in those periods of the game. When you're sitting there in front, and as you say, play it in the corners. Just don't be giving stupid balls away.
And
you get punished.
That's it.
And Dunk put it in just the place that Pickford couldn't get.
Yeah, the only place.
Yeah. The only place that Pickford couldn't save it. That's where he put it.
It's a great head, and as you said, it was a silly corner to give away, but and Beto's defending was pathetic as far as I'm concerned. I could have defended that. I genuinely could have defended that. And that's where you got to look at again.
But I don't understand why Tarkowski just hasn't gone man for man on Dunk. See, the manager, I said this in the aftermatch, and I think people, you're being too critical of the manager. Those details that's what it's his strong suit, isn't it? So at half time, when Dunk had won 3 headers off corners because we just left him on his own, and all 3 of them were directed straight to Pickford. If I was the manager, I'd have said to Tarkowski, when Dunk's in our box, stick to him. Stick to him like a rash so he doesn't move. Doesn't matter if it's a second or the ball's being recycled off a corner. Just mark Lewis Dunk because he's the only one who's any threat really in the air. And we didn't. Tarkowski goes in front of the ball. Godfrey, we know, isn't brilliant at jumping.
No, he's not.
And, it goes there. But there was those moments. What really surprised me was when they went down to 10 men, the possession stats got worse.
Yeah.
When I was amazed how much possession we'd had at one stage. It was like 60-40. I couldn't believe it. 11v11.
Yeah.
And at the end, they end up with 66% possession or something. It's like, how does 10 men have more of the ball?
But that's like when people say you can't criticise the manager. Well, the manager sets the tone of what you do after that. And he sent Ashley Young on. And I know he didn't have many options. If he had Dobbin on, maybe he would have sent Dobbin on and said stretch the play a little bit. But I just think at that point, you have to say to your players that sub, it will always set the tone of what your team are going to do. And if suddenly you've taken out your number 10 and replaced them with someone who's going to be more defensive, then what does that say to your team? It just says everyone drops and we allow them to have the ball. And that's exactly what we did do.
Well, even if you're looking at who he could have put on, I would have put Coleman on. If the core is knackered, if they're looking and I've got to take him off, I'd have put Jack Harrison inside and put Coleman on just in front of Godfrey and gone, right, say to Seamus, listen, when you get it, just have a run, mate, down the line. Just knock it down the line, go after it. And putting Young on, and Young didn't. Listen, Ashley Young didn't come on and concede a goal. Wasn't him.
No, it sets the tone, doesn't it?
He didn't know where he was sort of playing, so we were all ready. We looked like we were lopsided against 10 men. You know, and when Gilmore got sent off, that was like the quietest moment of the game. They sort of run out of ideas. It was just that I was starting to think, we may well see this game. I knew there'd be at least 6 minutes. You knew it, with that ref was shite. But you knew it was going to be at least 6 minutes. But it was just getting, you know, you were looking, they were flat. Yeah. And it was like, well, we're okay. And you know, we defend the first corner all right, the corner that comes in, rather. But it's when it comes back out of the box. And there was too many times where it done my head in when we played them at Goodison. We ended with 20% possession or something at home, because we'd done the same thing. And yet we were much more comfortable in possession against Manchester City. We didn't have loads more, but we used the ball well. Whereas, I mean, the opening 25 minutes on Saturday was one of the most one-sided games of football I've ever seen for a Premier League side. It was just attack v defence. And I was like, what's going on? When we get the ball, we haven't got a clue what. And these players are better than what they're showing. I'm telling you that right now. And watch football all over the place with much more limited players. But because they coach really well and they're a bit more loose, you know, there's a bit more of a freedom about them. They get forward. You shouldn't be so terrified when you have the ball. And that's what we are. Whereas defensively and structurally, we are good. He's done a great job there. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't deny that to anybody. And away from home, he's done a really good job with this set of players. That we are always in games. There's been very few we've not been in. But we've still got to be better. Yeah. You know, we've got to be better than that. Because it is a good point on the face of it. It absolutely is. They're a tough side. And they've only lost, you know, West Ham, I think, beat them in August, and they've not lost at home since. So it would have been an unbelievable win, really. But that's why it's more gut than that. If they'd have scored a cracking goal, you'd have gone, you know what? Because they cut us open a few times, and if it had ended up in the net, you'd have gone to a really good goal. It's just so annoying, Dave, that's normally, as Ped said, that's normally where we're really good at defending crosses, isn't it?
Yeah, and absolutely. And I genuinely, you know, there's certain times when you're in that position and you sort of think, we're not going to hang on to this. But genuinely, I thought that we were.
Yeah.
I really did. I thought, you know, we're going to get this.
That 9 minutes seems
that was the fastest game. And then, like, the time just went really quick, and then the sending off, and everything just seemed to slow down.
Oh my God, it was unbelievable.
We couldn't get the ball forward.
I was like looking at it, and it was like 91-40, and I was thinking, it feels like 10 minutes since he's put the bleeding ball. Oh my God, it was horrible. It was horrible.
Time does not exist.
No, someone was turning the clock back. Yeah. I mean, if you know, there's lots of ways to look at it. There's, you know, we're breaking records. You know, it's the longest run without a win in 30 years. So fair play to that.
Well done, us.
Yeah, it's the longest. It's 23 years since we scored less goals in open play over the last 10 matches or whatever. So there's another record gone. But the flip side of that is you want to look at it the other way. It's 1 defeat in 5. And that was Manchester City, the only team to beat us in the Premier League this year, if you want to look at it like that. So there is ways you've got to look at it. But and that would be, like I said to someone on Saturday, this kind of results would be fine, would be really good if we were okay at home.
Yeah.
So we really have got to correct this home form, Dave, haven't we, as soon as possible, because we're competitive away. It's just our own.
Yeah. It just, you're absolutely right. You know, it just needs to change because, you know, on the road it's okay, but I don't know. It's just a difficult watch. And as Bush said, you know, Calvert-Lewin doesn't look right. Beto doesn't look like he's gonna score anytime soon. It's just, I don't know. It's just hard.
I mean, the Dom thing doesn't really bother me. It really doesn't, because I just look at the service he gets, and I honestly just don't think if I played up front or anyone played up front, that unless they were an absolute top player, which I don't think Dom is anyway. So
it's just a good Premier League
solid Premier League player who works hard for the team. It doesn't really bother me. It doesn't bother me as in, like, I don't look at it and go, well, we have to play better, because when I watch Beto, I'm just like...
But the lad still caused that absolute mayhem.
I know, but he's bang average, though. He really is bang average.
I'm not denying
Weren't many people fighting us for his signature, were
he's
there?
He's a work in progress, isn't he? He's going to take a very long time to take the edges off.
Absolutely.
And I just don't think he quite understands what is required of him. And yes, he can come on and he can cause trouble, but if that and we've seen this on Saturday, that very quickly fades away and he just goes out of the game. And I just think, and that's why I just don't think Dom's... I look at the wide men and I look at the creativity in midfield rather than looking at Dom. Dom had no chances whatsoever on Saturday. He had one that was flashed across the box, and I think Dunk actually got the header, didn't he? Before Dom could. Could he work harder? Yes. Could he be more aggressive? Yes. They're things you ask of every player, and I think there are times when I look at his aggression and wish there was more. But I honestly can't point to him and go, well, he's our big problem. We use him in such a way that he does a lot of work that is needed, but we just don't get him any service. So I don't see that as a major issue. I just see the way we play facilitates a certain style, and we're getting that good defensive stats. But when we need to push on, the team not starting Onana is the big alarm bell for me. Yeah. We spoke about this last week. Not starting him says you to the opposition, well, we're going to have two holding midfielders and we're going to get all the men behind the ball and we're going to make it really difficult for you. So that's what the manager wants. She clearly doesn't look at Onana's skill set and think it suits for some games. But for me, Onana has to play if you want to be a little bit more better in possession.
Well, the only time we looked like we had any control was when Onana came on. And that's just a fact. I mean, I love Idrissa Gueye. I think he's probably overall he's our most effective midfielder. But I think Onana's quite clearly the most talented of the three. Yeah. He's got everything, and you'll see that when he moves on to a good side, how good he'll be. When he came on, I mean, I give Branthwaite man of the match because I thought he was brilliant and his goal was tremendous. But the second man of the match for me was Onana. And he only played bloody 40 minutes because he come on and all of a sudden we had the ball, and when he gets it, he looks to move it through and he's spraying it, and you just don't see that. James Garner runs around and works his bollocks off, no question about that. This is great at putting fires out, but there's no control. Dwight McNeil, again, anonymous. He put one great cross in the second half, which the core was on. I mean, one of the best goal line clearances you'll probably ever see from Lamptey. But he doesn't do enough. But ironically, I thought the core was poor on Saturday, but he's still. I mean, he could have been poor and still scored. That's the thing he does. Jack Harrison does so much work, but his passing's atrocious at times. It's like things that instead of simplifying his game, he's now overcomplicating his game. When he does well, Harrison, it's when he just plays it simple. He gets himself half a yard and crosses it, or he runs and things like that. But you're right, it's the midfield, the creativity of that midfield. And it's in particular, it's the wide players. We're not getting nothing from McNeil, like literally nothing from him. Whereas a year ago, he was in form now, and he was key. He was getting goals, creating out, and I don't know whether he's not fully fit, but then I will ask the question of the manager, why does he play? He's obviously got a hell of a lot going on in his private life. I'm not going to call him out, but you have to say when people are playing well or they're not playing well. He's not playing well.
There's no one actually to replace him, is there? Let's get it right. There's no one actually to replace him in the team.
No.
For me, it's Onana. Onana has to play. The manager's decided in the last couple of games he doesn't want him to play, and for me, he sets the tone of how we play, and the manager doesn't want to play that way, and that's I have a problem with that. I do have a problem with that, as well as Sean Dyche,
as well
as Sean Dyche has done for us. I have a problem with that. If you don't want your team to go forward and create chances in open play, then I have a problem with that. I don't like watching that kind of football. It's as simple as that. But we did score a great goal, didn't we? I mean, let's talk about that. Let's talk about positive. Come on,
it was brilliant.
The move for the Decore one was brilliant. McNeil done superb. It was a great ball in and brilliant volley from Decore. And like I said, it was probably one of the best goal line clearances I've ever seen, because the fella, Lamptey, just tracks it and just throws him. And it's only little, it's only net size. And he throws himself. I was waiting for him to look up, and it's a brilliant header off the line. And then we did get the goal. It was the ball in from Pickford, and Branthwaite, gets knocked down, good first touch, and smashes it into the top corner. It was. He got back up again, and off he went celebrating, and it was a hell of a goal. And just adding to his quality,
his value.
And his value.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I thought when that flew in the top corner, and I kind of thought, there you go, there's another few million on his price tag.
Exactly what my dad said.
Yeah,
but you want him to do that because he's going to go at some stage. You want him to be the best he can be anyway, don't you? But it was a brilliant goal.
Him and Onana, let's be honest, him and Onana could rebuild Everton's side by selling them if Everton did it right.
Of course, yeah.
It's just, would we do it right? That's the worry, isn't it? But I mean,
as a goal, Ped, it was tremendous.
No, it was a brilliant goal, and at first I thought it took a little nick or just the way, but it was a great goal, and
Clean, wasn't it?
It shows his confidence. It shows that he's got what he's about. And again, he's there's a lot of chat around these ways about young players at the moment. Yeah. I don't know why, but there is. But he is a product of going out, really good scouting, getting a player, bringing him through, having faith in him, and then putting him in the side and leaving him in the side as well, which is the most important thing, which, again, Sean Dyche hasn't done with other players.
There was one a few minutes earlier where he should have gone at it with his foot, and he didn't. He headed it back towards Calvert-Lewin, and if he'd have gone with the inside of his foot, he might have scored that. It was off a free kick again, but he's an absolutely sensational player, isn't he? And if Everton, if you're him, I hope he remains for one more season, because I think him developing, playing another full season, I think he'll get even better. But Dave, I mean, he is brilliant, but is there a worry from our perspective that we are just kind of like banking on set pieces for our chances?
It just always looks like the most likely source, doesn't it? Just because we do have such a absence of creativity, as we've just discussed. There's little or no service to Calvert-Lewin, which is why he's not scoring anything. Beto, as I say, we've discussed him. He looks a long way off it. So therefore, you look at opportunities with set pieces and you kind of think,
because there was two. You're talking about Beto. He had two opportunities.
I know he did.
But they both come off set pieces as well. One whipped in from that side, which he should have done better, sort of skimmed off his head. And the other one from James Garner's ball in, which was fantastic. He gets the slightest nick, and Branthwaite just misses it at the far post. That's another, but it is something we've got to improve on. But Branthwaite's brilliant.
But it's something that we can improve on. And yet we sort of choose not to improve on it. This is my point about not playing Onana. Is that like we choose? That's a conscious decision that he's made in the last two games to leave Onana out because it's easier to play those other two and it suits his system. But to play Onana would be brave. And of course, I wouldn't say he's looser on the ball, but of course, when you're watching him, there are times where you think, he might be being a bit casual. But it's his style of play.
He's going to have to play now because Trisha went off with a groin injury, he could be out for a couple of weeks.
But that seriously worries me though. That a manager can't see that and is just banking off set pieces. And we could have easily have gone. We went to City and can get any corners. Yeah. We didn't get any fouls around the box. So that cuts down your chances of scoring to nearly zero. We don't get penalties, So why are you cutting them down? Onana can do it. It's not like Onana's some kid. It's the second year in the Premier League. The first year yet we saw how raw he was. But this year, he's been so composed in games. He very rarely does anything stupid or gives the ball away sloppily. He normally keeps the ball. Yeah, there are moments where people might point to him and go, well, you lost the ball there and it came back or whatever. But I just think as a football team, you have to play your best players. And he's been brave with Branthwaite, playing him. Be brave with Onana. I know he was out injured, he's come back, but to have James Garner and to have a Garner Gay just sitting there and they offer nothing going forward, absolutely nothing, and that's bravery. And for all the good things the manager has, you can praise him for all that, but that doesn't mean you can say, oh, that's okay, then he's done brilliantly for us. There's a lad sitting on the bench there
Who's better than
that's better than what we've got, and we're refusing to. He looks like. I'm not saying he is. He looks like he's refusing to play him because it might make us less defensive. I don't buy into that. I don't buy into
and
that.
ironically, he's the best number 6 we've got.
Exactly.
Anyway. So.
You have to have.
You don't think,
Go on, Dave.
You don't think there's anything else, do you, in terms of the fact that it's something non-football related?
No, I don't think so. There's nothing.
Doesn't seem to be.
Nothing about the lad at all. The lad just picks up the odd injury. I get that. He's got one of those frames that But I think for me, I think he's got the world at his feet on, and I think of course he looks like he'll leave the club. I do worry. I think about these things, and you overthink about them. You think, is he trying to phase him out? Is he looking at the future? But you haven't got time to phase people out. We're not phasing Branthwaite.
You can only phase people out when you're on 40 points.
Exactly.
And you're in no danger. You can start going, right, we're planning for next season.
There'll be loads of people listening to this and will be thinking, what I'm saying is stupid and whatever. But that's, to me, I just think he is I see a lot of hate for Onana, and I really don't get it. He's brave. That's what good sides.
There's a lot of hate for a terrific guy.
That's what. What I'm saying is a lot. If you want to be a good side, players have to be brave. There's top players have a bravery about them, and that's what I think separates him from a James Garner. Is that I don't see any. I see a very honest, all day long honest player, but what I'm saying is that little bit of bravery that separates good professionals from players that you can see will take the step up, that big games won't faze them, and there'll be moments in the games and they'll take them. Onana strikes me as a player like that, and I honestly, I just think it's bad that we don't play him. And as you said, he'll probably start against West Ham now because Onana's got a groin. Garner's got a groin injury, and that's sad because he's not the player I would have dropped. I'd drop James Garner because I just don't think he's brave enough. I think he's honest. I think he puts the tackles in. But
he'll be all right alongside Onana.
Yeah, he will, and he's good alongside him, so I have no problem there either. But I think there has to be a bravery from the team to get through games, and that's what disappointed me in the last 10 minutes. On Saturday I didn't think there was a bravery on anywhere.
No, we should have been puffing our chests out there in injury time, going, we're 1-0 up, you've got 10 men, and we're superb at defending. Yeah. But we're going to start turning you now and getting better, running into corner flags and stuff. And maybe it was Coleman coming on and running. But listen, at the end of the day, it's a good point. It is a good point. They're a good side. I know we can be gutted because it was so late. But, we got a late equaliser against Spurs, didn't we, in the 95th minute, and we got one against Palace. So, you take the rough with the smooth and we move on. And if we beat West Ham at the weekend at home, and that'll be tough, but if we beat them, then you'll go, right, okay, we keep it going. And that's really where, if we're going to move away from the danger, let's put the punch thing to one side and pretend we're getting none back. If we're going to move away from danger, it's going to be our home form that rescues us. But a good point down at Brighton. Let's see where we go from there. Right, on to some randomness. Okay, why not? I mean, we started with the sorrel and the randomness. Let's go back to it. Mark says, if Liverpool win 4 trophies and Elon Musk offers you a chance to go to Mars for a year, would you take it? And which 4 people would you take on the trip? So assuming 5 of you can go for the year, you're all right. You've got that. You're safe. You're healthy and all that. Would you go?
No.
Okay.
Because I'm generally not asked.
Yeah.
This is
about Everton.
This is another thing Evertonians have got to get out of the psyche. That somehow them winning trophies or them not winning trophies makes us better or worse. This is, again, I'm going to be all serious with this point, but this is something that we've done for the last 30 years, and I've done it myself. I don't have any years. We've all done it. We've all done it, but we somehow worked out that them not winning trophies is some kind of success for us. And this actually was put into us by certain people of our football club. Basically, made this happen. So no, I wouldn't. I'm not asked one bit. Like if they get to like a big fan, I might go away for the weekend because of the people who come out the woodwork and all that, and people who like to park on my street. I'm putting the bins outside. No chance.
Get them perfect out there.
But if I did go just to play along,
what for it?
I'd just probably obviously the wife clearly.
Yeah.
And then
good answer.
Yeah, and then just
I'm not convinced.
And then just randomise some of the people I follow on Instagram.
Yeah. What would you say about that?
Listen, if we're moving, where are we moving to?
Just going to Mars for
we have to repopulate.
That is
we
true.
have to repopulate the you know what's the point?
So be for medicinal purposes.
What is the point of just going somewhere and saying this is it and we'll die out?
You're not dying. You're coming back.
No, but I'm thinking the long game.
Yeah, you've got.
You don't know what's going to go on, Mars. There could be a malfunction. Could end up like Matt Damon.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
You've got to think about the population of Mars and helping create that population. And I'm just doing my bit.
Okay.
I'm just doing my bit.
Fair play.
Are you not answering that?
Yeah, I'd just take 4 Instagram people.
You're not asking Dave?
I'm asking Dave.
Okay.
I'm going on to Dave. Dave, would you take that? I wouldn't want to go because I'd think, imagine if Everton start playing well, though.
No, but know
what I mean? That's what I'm thinking.
I think it's also just the fact that Mars just doesn't have any appeal to me.
No.
As a destination, you know, it's just one of those places where I just think I just don't really fancy it.
No,
I was a bit like that with Dubai, to be honest with you, until I went years ago.
Similar thing, very similar, Dave.
You know, it's similar kind of thing.
What would Mars have to do?
Didn't really have any appeal. Pardon?
What would Mars have to do though to get your
XC,
to get your your Bitcoin?
Do you know what it is that it doesn't appeal? It is that I always think of it being dark there.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I always think about it being dark. I never think about Mars being a daylight place.
No,
I suppose this is maybe why I don't like space films either, because they're all set in the dark.
Yeah, I think I'm with
dark. I kind of like daylight stuff.
Yeah.
This is why Star Wars, Star Trek, all of that, just not asked about it. So
fair play.
Therefore, yeah, Mars just don't know.
Okay,
Just don't really fancy it.
Let's bin Mars. Not so purple-lucky says the odds of being born on a leap day this coming Thursday are 1 in 1461. Right. So my question is it more likely to be born on a leap day, or for Sean Dyche to make an attacking substitution?
Just to go back to
option A.
Just to go back to the previous question for a moment. Mars gets 40 minutes more day than we do, so therefore gets more daylight. So that just puts Dave to bed.
I'm with Dave.
I think he's just scared
the surrounding area is dark. We don't like it. Dara says
surrounding area is dark. What does that mean?
Not so purple-lucky also, but this is a really important one.
Yeah.
Did Adam and Eve have belly buttons?
They wouldn't have needed them, would they?
They wouldn't need them. Well, there was no umbilical cord, apparently, was there? So they wouldn't have had them.
They weren't real people.
But you can't say that.
I can't say that.
Can't say that.
You know what? You can, and it's a fact.
Yeah,
it's not. It's very much not a fact.
It is
very much not a fact.
There's not a chance. There was a person called Adam and Eve, and a snake offered them an apple. I find that the chances of that happening, unless you were in a zoo, and it was some kind of show.
There you go.
Or some kind of show right now in like Benidorm or something where someone has a snake.
Oh, with Sticky Vicky.
Oh, God rest her soul.
Oh yeah, sorry, but her daughter is continuing her great work, though, isn't she?
How'd you train your daughter for that? Yeah, love, just shove a few of them up. Mark says we've got a great business here.
Great for that.
Got a great business here. Mark. Beta. Well, yeah.
I'm just looking at pictures of Adam and Eve, by the way, just while you do that.
Okay, you look at Adam and Eve, and I'll ask the question. For £1 million, and I'll 10 points back. But it means a sex tape of you is leaked to the public, like Kim Kardashian. Would you do it?
For how much money?
£1 million.
Yeah.
And Everton get all the points back.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
What's wrong with... I mean, has one ever really hurt anyone? Seriously? You having to think about all.
I'm trying to think about. Well, I'm thinking about like the French players and all that they sort of get away with it. Paris Hilton.
This was slightly different.
Didn't seem to do it. Kim Kardashian, it made her, didn't it? Really?
The women always seem to come out of it well. The men are just mostly forgotten about.
Yeah, they're just part of it.
I mean, it's a very literal take on taking one for the team, isn't it?
Exactly, Dave. Exactly. So would you take one for the team, Dave, then?
Yeah, why not? Absolutely.
Yeah, £1 million.
Yeah, absolutely. And all 10 points back quickly.
Yeah,
Thank you, Premier League. I'm seeing 2 belly buttons as well here.
Well, there you go.
As in one each.
Yeah,
not
I was going to say, they've got 2.
They're nipples, Dave.
Yeah. No. These are clearly belly buttons.
Okay. Lynn says, if you were a ghost, what would have caused your untimely demise? I mean, that is, of course, if there was an untimely demise.
How are you going to die?
That just says, how are you going to die?
Yeah, but just say you were you've died before your time.
Okay.
like, what if you had to choose, like, horrible history, stupid deaths.
Those people, right? Those people should be celebrated more. They may be the greatest collection of British people for a very long time.
Horrible histories.
Horrible histories.
I'm watching The Detectorist at the moment. He's in it.
And the other one, there's one on a Friday night. It's on about the 3rd season now. Where, what's it called? Where it's like basically his family get followed. There's someone following them all the time, filming, and it's so funny. It's like the fella who plays the Scoutmaster in Ghosts. Is the dad
Friday night? No, not dinner.
It's brilliant. And the other fella with the curly hair pops in it who plays silly.
Julian.
What a brilliant collection.
Julian out to
And he basically wrote Wonka as well, which is brilliant. Wonka's superb.
They are. It is brilliant. So what an untimely death.
And the thing about this is, if you watch Ghost, you remain like that for don't you? So one of them has no kecks on and all that.
That's because he's the Tory MP.
Struck by lightning out on a run.
Okay. So you'd be always in your shorts and not in your gear.
Always in your running gear.
Dave, what would yours? See, I would have said Dave struck by lightning on his paddleboard on the Thames, but I don't know. Go on, Dave.
See, it's still too cold paddleboarding at the minute. So actually, my chances of not getting hit by lightning on the river are less or better, whichever way you want to look at it. What would untimely death? I don't know. I'd probably be hit by a massive oil tanker or something like that crossing the road. You know, something really huge and dramatic. You know, which would then go into a big fireball. You know, like a proper. You know, if you're gonna go proper.
And then on the opposite side of that is like there's a hard man walking away from the fireball in like a slow mo, or like they do like in an action scene where everything's blowing up behind them. But Dave's on the other side of that. They're the people you always forgetting these things, aren't they? The people who are on the other side of the tanker when it blows up. You know, Hugh Jackman's walking away, giving it the big one. It's the fella on the other side, and that's Dave. Sadly,
I'll have had something like an earthquake while being on holiday with like. You know, just in the heat, having some sun, something like that.
Tripping over in the dark on Mars.
No, very much not that. Very much not that. Martin Williams says, "Hi boys, where do you all see yourselves in 5 years' time? More to the point, where would you like to see yourselves? Not Mars, that's for sure. No.
Realistically, we'll still be here doing exactly the same thing.
I'd like to see us,
Dave,
doing this
with better mics,
doing this show abroad." Somewhere
abroad,
just going away for like
a one-off.
You know, we're doing well. The podcast doing really.
Oh, you know what? Would be great.
And we go and do some specials.
Genuinely be great.
And we're all in the room together.
The 3 of us, right? The 3, and the 3 of us sitting around that little coffee table with our
sorrel.
with our cappuccinos or cappuccinos or whatever, with a lovely pastry on the table, nice. with the Gazzetta just sitting there, and we're doing our podcast
in Italy or something.
Some lovely desk, because Everton are playing in Europe.
Oh, lovely.
And we're like, Andy, do you want to come on? Oh, sorry, mate. Busy are you, Dave? Sorry, busy Andy. Dave's there, clear. He's biked over.
No, Bush is asking us.
Bush is like, can I come, lads? And we're like, can't, lads. We've got the 3 with us, and
We're sponsored by Sorrel as well.
Sorrel. We've got the Sorrel money.
You know, Channel 5 are interested.
You know, and we're like that.
There's a Netflix doc about how us 3 exploded. Yeah. Not like Dave's untimely death.
No,
very much not.
That will be a different
one. No, I mean, on the basis that we've got 5 years to work it out.
Yeah, we could. Listen, let's aim. Possible. Let's plan. It's a good plan. And actually do it. And Jez, let's leave Jez with the last one. You can have one takeaway dish available to buy for the rest of your life. You can still go to restaurants in the supermarket, but what would you choose? You can only get one takeaway for the rest of your life. So you always have to get it.
I'm going to let Dave answer this first.
Go on, Dave.
It's a big sigh.
What was a big sigh?
It's a hard decision. I mean, it would probably be something like... something Thai, maybe. I like Thai food.
Okay.
You know, so like a Thai curry or something. Right. If I could only have one thing, it might be something like that.
Okay. I'd have Kung Po chicken with salt and pepper chips. They're mine. That's mine. Ped, go on. You wrap us up.
I tell you what I've become very partial to, and I think you might be shocked by this.
I'm very shocked, because you've said I might be shocked.
I'm become very partial to Greek.
Have you?
Oh, God, yes.
Bit of hummus, what?
No, not a bit of
tzatziki, no?
And, they do this lovely Swedish meatball wrap.
What, in the Greek restaurant?
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So the meatballs are so soft and, yeah, I'd have a bit of that.
That's what you're having?
Yeah. And they've got proper chippy chips as well when you get it.
Nice.
So really nice.
So it's like a sort of Swedish Greek fusion.
I like that.
Very much so.
I like that.
Sweet.
A sweet. Yeah, it's good. Agreed. There you go. Right, let's leave it there. Put that in your sorrel and take it. Right, that is us done. Thank you very much for listening. Give it a 5-star review. Thumbs up, like, share, do it all. Huge thanks to Dave, as always.
Listen to some of Dave's other
Listen to Dave's other ones, fueling.
I mean, you don't
around.
have to.
No, I
think
good.
you should.
I think there's some good ones there. Go and listen to
Thank you very much.
What's your car one, Dave? Just a
Fueling around.
Now, is that like getting? Is that gonna like go? You know, with the Formula One season ready to explode? Is that gonna make that even bigger?
Yeah, I mean, we had David Coulthard on previewing the Formula One season. You know, in fact, that is the current episode. So,
nice.
Check.
So yeah, it definitely helped, and was I think timely is the word.
Yes,
the right person at the right time.
Absolutely.
So,
Check. He does seem a good guy, David Coulthard.
He was. Do you know what?
No,
he was really good. Really good. I enjoyed his company a lot.
His neck chin line is unbelievable.
His jaw. He's got a solid jaw.
Yeah, fair play to him.
Right, check that out then, Fueling Around with David Vitty.
Thank you very much.
Right, thanks for listening, and we will see you all next week. Bye.